Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And yesterday, when I was doing my show with John Fitch, and by the way, it's now been 2 full years of Mixed Martial Mindset. Talk about time flying by, especially when you're doing stuff that you enjoy. I really enjoy that show, as a lot of you know. Mixed martial arts is one of my big hobbies, I guess. Kind of side obsessions outside of geopolitics and what's going on in the world. But that show has gotten more and more and more into politics and less and less and less, especially during this COVID-19 84 nightmare about the issues of the day and less about mixed martial arts or fights or any of that. We still talk about it, but it's just not as big a deal. So in real time, I was like, John, I need to show you this article where they're now admitting, as I predicted, and I want everybody to understand that as well. I've been saying this for months now, that in November at the latest, they did it in October, it would be announced that more people had died of COVID this year than last year by official sources. Not by Jason Burmis, by official sources. And of course, that would be eventually blamed on a plethora of things we won't discuss here, at least not right now. And remember, there's a lot of things that we cannot discuss anymore on this channel. But what we can show you is blatant digital book burning, the inversion of reality. Because when I went there, it said U.S. reports highest weekly COVID-19 boops since July 4th. There were over 7 million shots in the past week, an official said Saturday. And below it, there's a video. Now, we're really going to be playing a comparison game. If you see here, the video that came along in the original was 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and it appears when we go to archive.org, not in the original, in the new one, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, archive.org, it's only a minute and 11 seconds. So, we're going to show you how a headline is changed, details about the article are changed, and the narrative is really inverted without that information coming out. Because if you think about it, how great of a job could this Biden administration, when I say Biden administration, we all know Zombie Joe don't run the show. He can barely walk around and talk. He's on a set. He can barely read off a prompter. I'm sure he's wetting himself on a regular basis, unfortunately. It's a bad joke. Joey B. the Gangster is Zombie Joe, the worst puppet I've ever seen in my lifetime. That's all I can say about that. Okay? That's all going on right now. That's reality. Okay? And they invert it, again, that somehow he's doing a great job when already with almost 2 months to go, let's say 6+ weeks, and this is really more around 7 weeks from when they announce it, you're going to have more deaths. And remember, every death was a Trump death, and I'm then not a Trump guy at all, but every single was blamed on him. It was Bleach, ha ha ha, oh, Bleach. I don't even want to say the H word. I certainly can't say the other words now. But before we get there, before we show you both side by side, I do want people to remember to thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Could not do this without you guys. You know, I've been fully demonetized for how long now? Close to 2 years, maybe over 2 years. They want me to pretty much delete everything, and then I can reapply in December to not get monetized. I won't be doing that. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. We're trying to bring people in for the cat videos. We've got the GoFundMe down below. But one of the best ways to support me is to make that premium subscription over at Rokfin. Now, even if you don't make the premium subscription, okay, for $9.99 a month, or if you want to lock it in for a year, $99.99. And shout out to Donnie Semple, a childhood friend of mine who literally just locked in a year of free speech premium. That's everybody at Rokfin, because, hey, I like other voices. I'm not the only guy out there. I'm not perfect. I get things wrong. And I like to share those viewpoints. So an exclusive over here at Rockfin, you don't have to make a premium account. I'd appreciate if you made just a free one and came over and followed me. The Quad Cities Activation Tour, we were able to get it back up. So if you missed this Sunday, you didn't come get a burger, you didn't have a beer, you didn't watch myself, Derek, Pat, and others speak, well, you can check it out right there. And it does cut off during Derek's speech, but there's another 15-minute excerpt of Derek's speech right there, and he's still on the Activation Tour at activationtour.org. So again, Rockfin's another great way to support me. I do want to say thank you to Odyssey for fully backing up my channel. We know that could be taken away. All the docs are free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture. Okay. Now, amidst the madness of people like Kamala Harris and NASA, and we're going to go with that, I just want to show you how far these fact checks have come. So I make a post now about they sure do and they sure have. Everyone needs to acknowledge signature reduction, okay? And what has been happening for some time. Myself and people like myself are not your enemy. Now, this is on a post where Ron Paul warns Americans to be afraid of your government, says watch lists of dissenters already exist. And of course they already exist. We know this for a fact. They have admitted American citizens are on watch lists, are in databases. And when you see this, again, the signature reduction program, no one's talking about. No one's talking about this. Again, in less than a week, this article will have been around for 5 months. Almost half a year, and no one's discussing it. That the government is moving against the American people, totally unaccountable. Signature reduction, signature reduction, signature reduction. Okay? So Rand Paul warns you they're already doing this, and look, I get a fact check. It's missing context. Wait till you see why. And by the way, can we get 100 thumbs, 140 people watching over on YouTube? Wait till you see why. Something about COVID-19 boop boops can enhance protective immunity in previously infected people. Okay, so again, we're not talking about anything related to that at all. Okay, so I don't understand where that fact check's coming from. We're not talking about immunity. We're not talking about shots. We're not talking about any of it. Fact check 1. Fact check 2. Claim of Chinese investment in Dominion voting systems confuses. So once again, there are many problems with our voting system. Forget about the word Dominion. I've been talking about Diebold and others for quite some time. This article has absolutely nothing to do with that. Neither does my post about signature reduction. Why? What is missing context about Rand Paul saying that people are on lists for being dissenters? Oh, wait, what's this? Fauci project manager did not confess to creating COVID-1984. Again, nothing to do with what I just said. Nothing to do. Those are all triggered by Rand Paul shares. These are the whack fact checks. Missing context. My post is missing context. Let me show you something else. Let's scroll up. We'll even refresh it in a minute. Okay, you notice I posted this to YouTube, so this gets on, or not to YouTube, I'm sorry, Facebook. So this gets on here. Not enough shares. It should be spread around a lot more. That is the meeting I went to last night of parents actually defending their children against being abused in schools. Okay? So Kyrie Irving, hero. Dr. Bartlett, also hero. You should go watch these. These are the real things in my life. There's the anniversary, some good music. Oh, did they just take it all the way down now? Now you won't be able to see it at all? Let's see. No, there it is right there. They blanked out my entire thumbnail of the Iowa parents that were fighting for their kids. Now, if I go to edit this, right, this is where, because look, this is a Rockfin post, and tell me that Facebook isn't doing this stuff on purpose, right? So I hit edit post, right? And look, oh, the thumbnail's there. Oh, it's there. So there's no reason to edit the post, and they just won't show it. Maybe you can go check it out. Tell me if I'm wrong. Facebook.com/TheInfoWarrior. So let's get back to it now. This was the original post, okay? And this doesn't look good for the administration any way you slice it. So again, they invert the narrative. Instead of the headline, COVID-19 live updates, as you can see in the Wayback Machine when it originally came out, more Americans died of COVID this year than all of 2020. And remember, we now have all sorts of evidence. It was in the United States all the way back in October, right? Let's stop playing pretend, okay? And apparently at its most virulent. And we had less tools, right? All that, okay? And then in the sub-headline there, more than 353,000 COVID deaths have been reported since January 1st. And this is, when this got caught, it was last updated on the 6th of October at 5:59 p.m., okay? Now this video, it's no longer available in the Wayback Machine, but you can see it was a 1 minute and 11 second video. And underneath it, it says Northwell Health nurse Sandra Lindsay, who made history as the first American to get the boop boop, received her booster shot, okay? And approved for frontline workers. So even there, they were kind of promoting the idea that, you know, still let's get the boosters, even with this headline, okay? Even with the headline. So now we're going to go over here to at least the 10th. So maybe it took 4 days, maybe it didn't, maybe they had to change it a couple times. It goes from, again, more deaths this year than last year already, with months to go, to U.S. reports highest weekly COVID-19 boop boop since July 4th. So promoting the shots, okay, that's the new deal. There were over 7 million shots in the past week, an official said. So that's the subline. See how the subline changes? The headline, the subline, what most people even read on a very short article, and then they replace the video with another one. Okay? And they even replace the booster stuff, right? To boop boop mandates across the U.S. Force employees to make hard decisions. Okay? So you're watching it in real time. You're watching them flip the script, flip the narrative, hide things from you. Protect a predator class, protect a very real agenda that, in my opinion, based on all the evidence, is completely anti-human. Completely about control. Not about love, not about your health, not about being alone together, you know, or saving grandma. None of that. None of it. So this is going to be a short video. I may do the Kamala Harris in space video. That is like one of the biggest pieces of propaganda I've ever seen in my life. And we may have to do that where we do half of it on YouTube and then we do the second half on Rockfin. So again, at least go make the free account. I want to thank Donnie Semple from the bottom of my heart again. A good man, a religious man, a man who has stuck to his convictions throughout the entire time I've known him in my life. We've known each other since we were kids. Okay? And those are the kind of men that make differences. And it's not just men, it's women, it's people, it's humans, it's brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, you betcha. We got to remember that. It's never about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.